Hello, my enemies. This is the head of the Diaper Mafia, baby Drek. It is so good to be here today. Today, I get to interview, not kidding, not kidding, one of my favorite directors. He made two films that you can see on Troma Now that I absolutely love. My Bloody Banjo and Eating Miss Campbell. So I would like to introduce a wonderful director, Mr. Liam Regan. Mr. Regan, very, very nice to meet you.
Oh no, very nice to meet you. I'm a huge fan of the Diaper Mafia, especially when you shut up the Tromaville School for the Very Special back in 1999. I was a huge fan of that.
I was going to say, I felt like that might be the inspiration to the shooting thing you do in your film. So I thank you for giving praise, and we expect the invoice in mail. So very, very good. So tell me, why, My Bloody Banjo, I love it. I think it's very funny, very dark, very interesting. But why that title and what made you want to do? Tell me about that movie.
Sure, of course. So I was dating a girl called Sarah back in 2011, and one night we had unprotected sex, and I snapped the frenulum on my penis, meaning I was bleeding a lot. And I then found out like the slang term of the frenulum being snapped is banjo. So I decided to write a film after our breakup because I didn't really have much else to do. And I created it into a short film, and then that short film turned into a feature-length movie, which is now on Troma Now. You can watch the director's cut on Troma Now, and it's essentially like a love letter to trauma, and it's kind of like if you want to kind of cross the DNA between Drop Dead Fred and Basket Case.
I think that's a very good description, and I must say, everyone says, write what you know, write what you know. You really took it to a very specific level, and I give you absolute props for doing that. That is badass. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Can you for briefly for people who are stupid and have not seen My Bloody Banjo yet, can you give brief description of film?
Of course, yes. So My Blue Banjo follows a character named Pelster Abacle, and he works at a stationery company called Reeves Celeste, and he has a maniacal boss named Mr. Sawyer. His partner is cheating on him, and he has to sit next to the love of his life, who he's been in love with since high school. So he's having a nightmare of a time. However, when he was younger, we find out that he did shoot up his high school and he blamed it on an imaginary friend called Ronnie. So through his tormentors, he decides enough is enough, conjures up his imaginary friend Ronnie, and both of them go on this kind of bloodbath in the fictional town of Henenwater. And Pelser essentially avenges himself against the people that have done him wrong.
I have to say, I'm sure you get this a lot. I love Ronnie. He just did the face, the makeup. Yeah, I know I don't spoil, but he is just a lot of fun as a character. I find him very entertaining, and I like that your film goes into funny but also serious of depression, bullying, and obviously shooting Mr. Sawyer, who a very good reference because he connects to your other film E.T. Miss Campbell, which is, would you call it a pseudo sequel, or how would you? Because there's a lot of connection between that one and My Bloody Banjo.
Sure, yeah. So I mean I class it as a sequel because it does follow the events of My Bloody Banjo. The only difference is much like a South Park episode where Kenny is alive again, I like to reset my characters. And I feel like with Miss Campbell, I wanted to, which I filmed, I think it was around maybe 6, 7 years after Banjo. I wanted to kind of play with the meta aspect of independent films and horror films and putting a character inside a film. And that's where I came up with the idea of eating Miss Campbell.
I like the idea that the star has this with again, I don't want to spoil, but has like this reset power, which is very interesting to the plot. And I like the it's kind of an unofficial tagline about her being vegan but love eating humans. So I'm curious, why did you go that route for the character? Because it's very interesting.
Yeah, well, all my friends ended up being vegan. They began being vegan, and I am a meat eater myself. And to me, I thought it was kind of like a funny morality play of, okay, I don't eat animals, but is it okay to dispose of human waste and then eat them because you're doing something for society? And to me, it's like a dilemma that a vegan may have, especially a vegan that's in love with her school teacher and is easily manipulated being a high schooler.
So I will not confirm or deny if I have had such experiences in my life, but I will say it was very entertaining to see it in film. So, but I would also, you have these two great films. You can watch them on, I know Troma Now, first month free, rest 4.99. Is there other places where you can watch films as well?
Sure, yeah, you can stream them on Tubi in America, I believe, but not My Bloody Banjo. My Bloody Banjo only watch that on Troma Now. The Tubi version of My Bloody Banjo is heavily censored by the people that distribute it in America, which
Okay.
are a company called Beep. That company, yeah. So Troma Now, but also refusefilms.com for all your boutique Blu-ray needs. We are an underground Blu-ray label. We're always putting out movies. We're licensing movies, and you can pick up the boutique releases of both films. But also, you can also pick up releases of The Toxic Avenger, Sergeant Kabukiman NYPD, and Cannibal the Musical.
So I will do selfless plug Cannibal the Musical I have, and I have to say, this is probably the best version I've ever seen. It has so many behind the scenes features, and I seem to have a thing about eating people. I can't explain why, but this is such a good version. What made you decide to release this one, Kabuki Man, Toxic Avenger, the special editions with Refuse Films? Tell me.
Of course, yeah. Well, in England, we did have a slogan called "You need to eat out to help out." So I thought, why not?
I like it.
Cannibalism is in right now. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of Trauma. Always have been. Sort of 11 years old here in the UK, and it's always been my dream to make a Trauma movie. And I guess the natural progression was distribution, because I'm a huge fan of these movies, and I also have a knowledge, decades of knowledge about Trauma. So I was able to access the Trauma archive, take the digibeta master tapes or whatever master tapes they had
Oh,
in the Trauma building in Long Island,
mhm.
have them digitized, and then put all this footage onto a Blu-ray. And the reason why I chose Cannibal the Musical is one, it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but two, I think it's one of Trauma's strongest titles that hasn't had the Blu-ray treatment.
Oh,
Um, uh, so I wanted to, one, give the movie a Blu-ray treatment, but also use the Blu-ray format as more of a storage capacity,
hmm.
meaning I would be able to fit hours upon hours and hours of bonus footage on the release.
Very nice. Do you have other films that you're planning to release from the Trauma archives as well in the future?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we have the next three titles coming out in June or July.
Okay.
I can't confirm those titles yet, but we're hoping to release Series 2 and Series 3 this year. But also, we're looking at also releasing more movies from contemporary filmmakers, as well as a lot of micro budget filmmakers that shoot a lot of films on video and digital that don't have the platform to showcase their work on. So we're going to be like a home for filmmakers. So we're going to have the Refuse Films sub-label. We're going to have the Trauma Archive sub-label. And then we're going to create something called Disc Rock Video, which is going to be for more of the underground filmmakers.
Oh, I like that so much. And I know Refuse Films are, if you want to find these movies, like the beautiful editions, go to Refuse Films. You can look it up very easily. And what I like about yours is they have special features. It looks good. The artwork is always incredible. You spend love and care in each one that you do. And I love that it has serial number in back of each one. So it has that special collector's feel to it, which is very nice. So before I go to, two questions. One, I know you are busy working right now. I know you did My Bloody Banjo, Eating Miss Campbell. Is there anything else we should be waiting for in the works, or is there a pause and then maybe later on revisit?
So I'm hoping to write the third entry in the Bloody Banjo saga. So this will follow My Bloody Banjo and Eating Miss Campbell. And I hope to write that this year and hopefully start shooting next year. That's the plan. I'm also attached to direct another movie that I can't reveal yet, but
Okay.
it's going to be a busy year. And I'm also working on a documentary about a band, which I'll reveal later on.
Well, I guess we'll have to have you back. We would love to have you. Again, I will have to figure that out, but we would love to have you back. And is there anything else I didn't mention that you are working on or would like to promote or anywhere where people can find you that you would like people to know?
Sure. On social media, all my handles are Refuse Liam, or my production company, Blu-ray label Refuse Films. Feel free to follow me on anything. If there's any aspiring filmmakers out there that have a movie that is looking for distribution, then please send it over to just send me a link. I'll be more than happy to check it out. If you need any advice at all or whatever, I'm always usually reachable if I'm not working, and I'll eventually get back to you. But apart from that, I just want to thank you as a member of the Diaper Mafia for having me on. I'd also like to know, when is Turkey Man coming back?
Uh,
Oh,
that was Kat. It was very
oh,
nice to having you on the show, and I would love to speak to you again soon. And please check out the Refuse Films. Check out his stuff on Troma Now.
mm.
Brilliant movies, brilliant work. Leon, such a pleasure to have you on the show.
No, no, of course, of course. But if you could ask Turkey Man to answer my messages, that'd be fantastic.
That might shut up. That might be a little bit, but I will let him know. I'm sure
Thank you.
he's doing great. So thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.